Welcome to Adventure Amps, where we crank up the stories, the vibes, and the soul of the wild. I'm your host, Mike, and today we're diving into the heart of Colorado's high country adventures. We're kicking things off at the legendary Roadhouse Lodge in Twin Lakes, a rustic gem nestled at the base of Mount Elbert, serving up fresh coffee, epic views, and a whole lot of mountain charm. Then we're rolling into Leadville for some smoky, finger-licking goodness at Moe's BBQ. Trust me, you'll want seconds. We've got a micro moment that will encourage you to get on your bike at the Midland Tunnels in Buena Vista, where history and adrenaline collide in a flash. And then buckle up, because I'm unloading a full throttle rant on why our public lands need to be open to everyone. And we've got to keep fighting to keep them wild. So grab your gear, turn up the volume, and let's hit the trail on this episode of Adventure Amps. Here we go. Welcome to the Adventure Amps podcast, your gateway to high-altitude thrills of Leadville, Colorado. Nestled at 10,152 feet, Leadville is America's highest incorporated city, surrounded by towering peaks like Mount Elbert, Mount Massive, steeped in vibrant mining history. Leadville invites you to explore this historic gem, where Victorian air charm meets endless outdoor adventures. Think hiking, e-biking, and epic mountain bike trails. Every 2 weeks, we're going to dive into the business of adventure in Leadville, spotlighting the local businesses that power this community, from cozy lodges to family-owned restaurants and historic saloons. Join us as we share the electrifying stories, insider tips, and the gritty spirit of Leadville locals, inspiring your next adventure in this top of the Rockies paradise. Well, good morning, everybody. It's Mike with the Adventure Amps podcast. Today, I'm venturing down to Twin Lakes, and I've stopped at the Roadhouse, and we have a great guest with us. I'm going to have her introduce herself.
Hey everybody, my name is Shana Cohen. I own the Roadhouse Twin Lakes here in Colorado.
Hold on one second. She's got to help people. We're working at the same time. She's working at the same time.
It's okay. We can go on. That's the family of the previous owners, so they think they run this place, but we've taken over 2 years ago.
They still come back.
They still come back.
So, Shana, what brought you to the Twin Lakes to run this gig?
Yeah, it's a great question. One that we get often. I'm originally from California. I've lived all over the world, in the States, San Francisco, New York, Denver, and then in Spain as well. And I was just sick of big cities, to be honest. So moving to Denver was a byproduct of working in the tech industry, and still having an opportunity to do what I've always done there. And then when COVID hit, I told my boss at the time I was probably going to move to the middle of nowhere, and he was okay with it. So here we are. We fell upon Twin Lakes by looking about like 2 to 3 hours radius of Denver, and originally had plans to do like a yurt tiny home situation. But the first time I saw Twin Lakes, definitely fell in love with the lakes. Reminded me a little bit of like North Lake Tahoe of sorts, and was just amazed by the water and have been blown away ever since. We've been here for 4 years, and took the Roadhouse over 2 years ago from the previous owners who had been running this hotel. And
So it's a little different than a yurt out in the middle of nowhere.
yeah, it's a little different. We love the community. We feel like we totally lucked out. But yeah, originally we were looking for like 50 acres. My partner and the co-owner here is Jason Erickson. He's very handy. So we renovated a van during COVID, and it kind of started this idea of like, whoa, what if we did yurts and had like more land to build and create like more of a like an energy environment.
Okay.
But yeah, very, very different situation. We were also a little intimidated by like the permitting and the zoning and all of the stories that we've heard from other like Poncha Pass yurts and things like that. So we felt like going the boutique hotel Airbnb route was a little bit more attainable. And it has been.
When you moved to Twin Lakes, what was your very first impression? And did you come in the summer or did you come in the winter? I always have to ask that question when you're
Great
up at
question.
that altitude.
Great question. We definitely moved in the summer.
Okay.
My impression was like I just felt the specialness of the area immediately. I had not spent much time in this area. I had not taken the pass to Aspen at that time. So I was really just blown away by the beauty. I would say the best and most interesting part has definitely been the community. When we first moved here, we definitely had a moment of like, oh shoot, should we move back to Denver? We didn't know if we were going to have internet at our house, and we both work tech jobs remotely, so that was like a hard requirement. We were like, do we need to go to Leadville and get a co-working space, or like what does this actually look like? It was one of the many things we just didn't think of in advance, but fortunately Starlink launched pretty soon then after, and we were able to make ends meet. But yeah, like we definitely had a moment of, wow, this is a very different life, but very quickly fell in love with the community and all that Twin Lakes has to offer.
How was your first winter?
I love the winter. Jason's from Minnesota, so it's like the easiest winters he's ever dealt with.
Okay.
I definitely feel that it's mild. Like we only really have to plow a couple times a year, mainly for our renters as well. Like I feel like the sun comes out, everything melts. It's beautiful. I'm a big skier, backcountry enthusiast, so there's honestly nothing prettier to me than winter in Twin Lakes. I love it. I love it.
I I've lived up here in the hills 28 years, so you get you have to get in that mind frame that
Yeah, ask me 20 years from now.
winter is 9 months out of the year,
Yes.
and your spring, summer, and fall is 3 months.
Yeah, we're also trying to make the village of Twin Lakes more of a year-round destination.
Okay.
So maybe in a couple years from now, we build like yurts here on this property that we have and try to gear more towards backcountry sports, ice fishing,
Okay.
things like that that will bring people here year round. But we shall see. There's a lot of room for opportunity, as we like to think.
What's the heart of the Roadhouse?
The heart of the Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Um, if you're asking me, I would say the guests are the heart and kind of soul of the Roadhouse. I was just telling someone earlier today, like without the cool, adventurous, spirited people that come through here, it would be a very different gig. I love meeting the people. We're very hands-on in our 7 rooms and in our coffee shop, so we're always here doing this. And that is definitely what I feel is the biggest takeaway is like the stories and the walks of life that everybody comes through and just seeing Twin Lakes through their eyes, I suppose. But maybe they would say the heart of the Roadhouse is just how beautiful, like how lucky we are to just be in this little hidden gem, if you will. And just all the beautiful surroundings.
Here's a question for you. So Twin Lakes gets in the next couple of weeks will be ransacked with lots of bikers and runners
Yep.
and people that are not familiar with how small Leadville and Twin Lakes truly is.
Mhm.
How do you deal with that?
That's a good question. Again, going back to the heart of the area, I feel like most people are very understanding and are looking for that slower pace of life when they come out here. Of course, you're going to get the person that might think it's more like supposed to be like an Aspen vibe or something else, which it's just very clearly not. But yeah, we deal with it by just kind of remaining calm. The busy season is getting busier every year. And as a business owner, we love it because it helps pay our bills. As a local year-round resident here, I think it can be overwhelming. Just like the second the pass opens, it's like night and day from all of the traffic and the expectation. Most of what we hear is, um, where is a plumbed bathroom and where can we get like bacon and eggs and stuff like that, that a lot of times we might not have the hours or the resources or the infrastructure to support. But honestly, we don't really tolerate the energy. Like it is what it is. And we just prioritize the conversations with people that appreciate that piece of it.
So for people that are not familiar with Twin Lakes
Yes.
sits at the bottom of Independence Pass. and on the east side of Independence Pass, and it closes during the winter.
Yes.
So Twin Lakes becomes a one road in, one road out in the winter. And then in the summer, when the pass opens, you can drive from Aspen over Independence Pass, and it becomes a 2-lane both directions. So for the people listening out there, it gets much busier in the summer since the road can now connect the Aspen area and the Twin Lakes area. In the winter, you drive up 6 miles, you've got to turn around because there's a giant pile of snow in your way.
Yep.
So,
yeah, just to add on that, there's roughly 4,000 cars a day coming from Denver, the Denver area, as like the scenic shortcut, quote unquote, route to Aspen. So drastic increase of business and humans.
Since you've been here 3 years, what's your most wild story so far in the last 3 years from a tourist?
Oh, so one of the wild stories that we have with a tourist, so we had an older couple come stay at the Roadhouse, and he was really adamant to climb Mount Elbert, and it was kind of the shoulder season, so in September. We're still very close with this couple, but the long story short is we were watching the cameras, waiting for him to come home. We saw him leave at 4 or 5 a.m. 6, 7, 8 rolls around, so I'm texting his wife. He still didn't return. And yeah, basically what happened was he got very exhausted about, I don't know, halfway down from Mount Elbert. So Jason and I went up to go, quote unquote, rescue him.
We're gonna take a short break so she can go sell some coffee.
Yes, and I will come back with the Fred story.
Okay, we're back, and we're gonna finish talking about Fred, Mr. Exhaustion, on Mount Elbert.
Yeah, it was just out of this world. We went to Mount Elbert. We probably got to the trailhead around 10 p.m. We were not prepared. We didn't have any water. It was snowing, like sleeting. He was overexhausted. We also were in touch with Search and Rescue, who took over eventually, and they did find him. He was in the Leadville hospital for weeks. He's like mid 80s, like really pushing it, but his wife always said that he thinks he's a spring chicken. So we had a good time with her, and we're still in touch with Fred on the daily. He lives in California, and we hope to get him back out here to maybe do it with him next time.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one. We love you, Fred, if you're listening.
Fred has become famous.
Fred is famous in our world.
In the Twin Lakes.
Don't do what Fred did.
Don't do it, Fred. What are some quirky traditions here in Twin Lakes?
Yeah, oh my gosh, there's so many of them. Twin Lakes is the sweetest, quirkiest place. One thing is that people like to speed through the village going, 60, 70, 80 miles per hour. So we do have the infamous cop car with the dummy that sits inside to help with traffic and speeds because it's scary. So that's one thing.
Well, and they upgraded the cop car.
They did, but I think they're going to go back to the old one because that one looks a little too serious and there's no dummy there. But I think it does help. And I will say, be careful because when they do come here, they don't even put their car in park. They're getting people going 20, 30 over the speed limit consistently. So definitely a speed trap, but we have pets and kids here, so drive slow. Other things, quirkiness, the general, I don't know if I want to call the other businesses quirky, but we do have, Percolated Peaks and the general store and all of the businesses here, the Tenderfoot Farm store, not quirky, but really cool and have really historic components to them. So more traditional than quirky, I would say, but if you walk around the area, you'll find something quirky, like the schoolhouse or the visitor center and that kind of thing.
So Twin Lakes is trailhead for the Continental Divide Trail. Mm-hmm. So, and it's through season. I've noticed that we're getting our first northbounders. Yep. And for people that are listening that don't understand that, those are individuals that are hiking from New Mexico to Canada, and they're hiking northbound. We'll start getting our southbounders sometime in August and in September. A few will wander through in July. So how do they add to the character of Twin Lakes, the thru hikers?
It definitely runs on a lot of the hiking and camping kind of curriculars there. They've always got good stories. They're always asking for laundry, which we don't have. But yeah, it's incredible, especially the CDT, like you said, like that trek 500 miles or whatever or no,
It's 2,800.
2,800 miles. I'm thinking about the Colorado Trail, which is also very popular from Denver to Durango.
Correct.
So that one's I think like 500 miles. But yeah, they love coming in. They love the soft serve ice cream. They love recharging everything. They love getting on the Wi-Fi. The general store is a very popular
It's a famous stop.
stop for them to switch out the resupplying, refueling, all of the things. So yeah, we love to see it, and I'm inspired by them for sure. I don't know that I'll ever do either of those, but I will act as if when they come in, and I will share the sentiment with them.
That's a good one.
Yes, they're great.
What is something tourists ask you that always surprises you?
We get like a lot of consistent questions around Twin Lakes. People didn't know it existed. People didn't know it was like beautiful year round. People don't know that you can like boat on the lake. There's a lot of things that I'm always like, oh, I guess this is really like off the radar for a lot of people.
What's your trick to making tourists feel so comfortable and welcomed here in Twin
Oh
Lakes?
boy, our trick. Well, we have a really cute mascot dog that people are very attached to. So she tends to be the greeter, and people are in good moods when they have a little cute puppy coming up to them, Muna. Um, yeah, I think it's just a combination of being relatable. We call this our what do we call this? Labor of love. We call it a labor of love because it can be tough to make ends meet, but we really do we thoroughly, like genuinely enjoy what we're doing. And because Jason and I are the owners here and we haven't really had the opportunity to employ other people to help out, I think the level of service and just like genuine interest in the stories and how people got here and where they're coming from and the like admiration to share what Twin Lakes is and where to go and all of the spots. I mean, we just love that. And it's so different from what we do, like our computer jobs day to day. So I think it provides us just a lot of it gives us an equal amount of satisfaction by sharing and just having human conversation in real life. So, yeah.
What's a hidden gem here in Twin Lakes that's a hidden
Can't
gem
tell
or
you
a
all our
must
secrets, Mike.
or a must see for the tourist?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the Interlochen Trail is beautiful. There's a lot of spots along the lake that we recommend for quiet, like stand-up paddle boards and things like that, cold plunging. Um, it's a really small area, so I think most things are pretty obvious. Like you can walk and bike the whole lake, which is awesome. There's a lot of cool spots off the Independence Pass, like the Grotto is one of them, the Willis Gulch area, just to like hang out by the river and take in all the scenery. Um, but yeah, I think everything else it's not hard to find the hidden gems because again, it's so small.
So one of my favorites here in Twin Lakes is unique, and it was caused last year when you had you had to deal with your first forest fire in a while,
Right.
and with the Interlochen fire. But there's a burn scar now on the Interlochen Trail, and for people that don't live in the hills, burn scars are good because they refresh the area.
Mitigation. It helps with mitigation. So there are silver linings for sure.
And now with the mushrooms this year and the wildflowers all starting to pop out, you'll get to see Mother Nature reclaim her land and start afresh. So don't think of the burn scars as ugly. It's just it's a new beginning, and it's kind of refreshing that we get to see one down here. It's unfortunate that it was so close to the community, but Mother Nature sometimes has to remind us to pay attention to what we're
Yes.
doing, especially putting out your
Put out your
campfire
fires, people.
before you leave your campsite.
Exactly.
What is one thing you want people to know about you or Jason or the Roadhouse?
Um, we'd love to meet you in person. Come through. You can always call or text to see if we're open and available. We just want people to know, like, we're so bullish and optimistic about the future of Twin Lakes. We are excited to watch it grow, and we are also just in love with the unique beauty that it provides. So come through, grab some coffee, get some soft serve, stay a while. We have rooms here at the Roadhouse. There's Stay Twin Lakes. There's a lot of different availability and options to like make it a vacation or a staycation or whatever the vibe is. So we are here.
Well, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule
Thank you,
and your
Mike.
busy work. We've had to up and down making sure you're still selling your coffee and your ice cream, which is important because this is your money making season.
Yes.
But thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody, as you're coming through Twin Lakes, you stop at the Roadhouse. We'll definitely stop our bike tours here as we ramp up in the
I
summer.
love it.
And I'll see everybody on the trail.
Cool.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Hey adventurers, ready to ride? Visit the Colorado e-bike shop in Leadville, Colorado. Zoom through stunning trails with our high-quality e-bike rentals, find your perfect ride with our sales, or build your dream bike with our custom builds. Perfect for all levels. We've got you covered. Call 719-427-7084 to start your journey. The Colorado e-bike shop, custom rides, epic vibes.
It is an early Saturday morning, and I'm out on the bike. And I'm going to go to one of my favorite spots that I frequent quite often when I'm in Leadville, and that is Moe's Barbecue over on 6th Street. And the day I am joined with, care to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Austin, and I work up here at the Leadville Moe's location. Been here about 5 years now. So
Austin is always gracious enough each summer to allow us to bring our bike tours through Moe's so they can use the bathroom, buy some food, and then get on the trail. So I always appreciate that. But today we're here to just solely talk about Moe's and how it interacts with the Leadville community. How long has Moe's been in this spot, and why'd you guys select this spot?
so this location we opened up about 6 years ago, and the two guys, had the property, and Harvey was looking for a change and stuff to do, and he's been friends with the Moe's guys for decades now. So kind of just worked out between the both of them to open this location, and been going strong ever since. So.
How does this location interact with the community?
I mean, being outside, we've got one of the best spots around town for the summer. We're only open for about 5 months out of the year, so but for those 5 months, I mean, you can't get much better of a view, and we get to hang out and do what we love.
I call it Leadville's ultimate patio.
It is. It's perfect spot. One of the best places in town that allows you to bring your dogs to, so everybody can hang out outside with their pups, and we don't have many of those places anymore where you can take your dog and eat lunch.
Now you're open about 5 months. You open in mid-May and usually close mid-October.
We try to open mid-May. Most of the time it doesn't work because we're still getting snowed on. So usually we try to be open by Labor Day at the latest.
And then you go into.
So we go until it starts getting too cold, usually mid-October to late October if we're lucky, but
What's too cold?
I mean, when it starts getting into the 20s at night, it's really hard to keep our smoker going, and our trailer isn't heated.
Okay.
So a lot of time it's just when people are just fed up sitting outside, freezing their butts off all day.
So now Moe's is famous for I believe it's Alabama.
Yes, we are Alabama-based barbecue. So we're a pork-based barbecue. We do we do serve turkey and stuff regularly, and we do serve brisket a couple days a week. But we are known for our Alabama-style pulled pork.
What makes that different from the other styles?
I mean, we've got our red barbecue sauce. That's our homemade barbecue sauce, and our homemade white sauce on it with our marinated slaw and some pickles. And It's just like Harvey's wife says, it's a party in your mouth. It's just all the flavors just come together, and it just doesn't get much better than that.
So, how do you cater to all the tourists that come to Moe's? Because you're off Main Street, which is a little more unique for the restaurant scene.
We are, but we have really good word of mouth. Everybody, a lot of people tell people to come here, and we get through hikers here every year that they've heard about online. So it's a popular spot for everybody to take a break and get off the trail for a day. We get motorcyclists going through it. We get yearly rides going to Sturgis, stopping through. So we definitely have a lot of repeat business, and the locals definitely support us too by telling everybody about it. So,
What's the most fun things that Moe's does for the community during the summer?
oh, we try to get involved with anything. Anytime we can donate to anybody's silent auctions. We try to help out. We just helped out with clean out day, town cleanup last week. So we had like 150 people come through for lunch. We're always open to ideas and new suggestions.
Now
Any way we can help out.
you have music on Fridays and Sundays.
We try to have music Friday nights and Sunday afternoons, weather dependent. And we just started doing music again this week. So it's usually doesn't start until the end of June every year. Weather dependent. Otherwise, Harvey will kind of jump up with his band if the weather's nice enough before then. But usually end of June, July, and August every year we try to have bands every Friday and Sundays.
Well, here's a technical question for you. You cook barbecue at 10,000 feet.
We do.
What are the challenges with that?
I mean, our biggest challenge, I think, is the cold. Just taking so long to heat up in the morning. We definitely go through a lot more propane and wood in the early and late season. But other than that, we all love being here, so we all get here early and we stay late. We're usually here at least 12 hours a day, every day. So it's you gotta love it if you want it to turn out right.
And
Most of us
and
have been doing it a while.
most of your product is local for smoking. So were showing me your big peachwood pile, and that comes from Palisade.
Yeah, we try to use sweeter woods when we barbecue. Brings out the flavors of the pork, and we get all of our wood out of Palisade. So we have Red Delicious, Applewood, or we use peach wood. Both of those.
So that's all coming
Areas.
from the western slope of
Absolutely.
Colorado. So Paonia or Palisade
Yep.
for that. So very cool. What's your fan favorite dish on the menu?
I really like our turkey, but we are known for the Bama style pulled pork sandwiches. So those are definitely the most popular, but ribs and turkey are probably my favorite personally.
What's the backstory on the turkey?
The
How do you make the
turkeys,
turkey special?
I mean, we have a good brine that we brine it overnight, and then make sure we smoke it low and slow every morning, getting here 4 hours before we open to get that stuff going and pulling it out all day long. So we smoke all the way till we close at 7 o'clock at night. So we make sure nothing's sitting in there for too long, and we're smoking for lunch and dinner.
So you're going to recommend the pulled pork sandwich to any of the visitors that are coming up to Leadville.
I recommend everything. There's nothing bad on there, but the Bama style pulled pork is definitely the most popular. That's what everybody seems to love the most.
What's the most unique touches that you and your team do here at Moe's for this Moe's location?
I mean, everything we make is made from scratch except the potato chips. It comes from a company down in Boulder.
Okay.
So other than that, we get here every morning and we're cooking from about 6 or 7 every morning until we open at 11 to get the sides and stuff ready. And everything's a personal home family recipe of Mike, one of the guys that started it. So
Okay.
it's
Wow. So I always ask this question. What is a hidden gem tourist spot that you like to go to here in Lake County?
I mean, I like to fish, so I like to hit a lot of the smaller lakes. one of my favorite little spots would probably be Emerald Lake. It's a
Okay.
good spot for me to take my dog, and she loves to run around while I'm trying to catch dinner. So I'd say that's probably one of my favorite little spots. Never too busy, but
And then what's your favorite summer event in Leadville or Twin Lakes?
I mean, I like a lot of I mean, even as busy as and hectic as it gets sometimes the race series is got some fun stuff going on, but Boom Days definitely the end of the summer. Boom Days is my favorite.
Very cool.
It's everything going on around town. I love food, so I like to go visit all the truck.
Okay.
Of course, we're busy that day. We've got a line out the door and around the corner, and it just doesn't stop. So you get to meet all the people coming through and get to go enjoy some food yourself. So
What's one of the craziest stories that's taken place at this location?
some of the craziest stories I can't comment on. It,
What's
I
a
mean,
clean one that you can comment on?
ah, we've definitely had a lot of wild stuff happen, but I mean, I think the funnest things that I enjoy is because we're an outdoor barbecue and everybody brings their dogs. We tend to have a lot of people's pups go missing and they show up here. So we end up taking care of a lot of neighborhood dogs while people are looking for them. And we've got our neighbors' dogs that always show up, and we see people walking home and their dogs will break loose and run to the window begging for snacks because they're used to coming here with their owners. And so I'd say usually about 3 or 4 times a week we have a dog go missing from someone's property, and they end up showing up here a couple hours later to pick them up because they found their way here. That's probably one of my favorite things that happens.
Now, Moe's is open 7 days a week, 11 to 7,
Seven
correct?
days a week, 11 to 7.
Okay. Well, Austin, thank you for letting me interrupt your morning
Yeah,
on coming to chat about Moe's. And especially thank you for all the support you've given our bike tours over the years. I greatly
cheers.
appreciate that. And we look forward to continuing it into the many years past today. So come on down to Moe's Barbecue. It's on 144 East 6th Street in Leadville. The gates open up at 11. There's always a friendly face here, and they always have cold beer. So,
That we
again,
do.
thanks again, Austin, and I will see you soon, and I'll see you on the trail.
Thank you.
Today, we're e-biking the Midland Tunnels in Buena Vista, Colorado, a vibey, off-beaten path gem. This 10-mile out and back trail follows the historic Midland Railroad grade along the Arkansas River. You'll cruise through 4 short one-lane tunnels carved into the rocky hills, soaking in epic views of whitewater rapids, pinyon pines, and the towering collegiate peaks like Mount Princeton. Start at the Buena Vista River Park, pedal north on County Road 371, and hit the smooth dirt at mile 2.6. The tunnels kick in at 3.2 miles. Watch for cars in the dark. With a gentle 744-foot climb, it's beginner-friendly, yet thrilling. Rock climbers will dot the nearby cliffs, adding to the vibe. Turn around anytime or picnic at the Railroad Bridge recreation site. April to September is your best bet for this awesome adventure. This week, I'm swapping out an interview for a little rant about something close to my heart. Open public lands. These incredible spaces are our shared treasure, where everyone, hikers, walkers, cyclists, horseback riders, and even e-bike riders, should feel welcome to explore and connect with nature. But when access gets restricted for certain groups, it doesn't just hurt them. It dims the spirit of these lands for all of us. So let's dive into why keeping public lands open to everyone matters so much. Public lands are at their best when we all have the freedom to enjoy them in our own way. Closing trails to specific users like e-bikers, horseback riders, or cyclists doesn't just limit their experience, it crowds other trails and paths. stirs tensions, and weakens our shared connection to these spaces. Take e-bikes. A 2020 Bureau of Land Management study showed that they cause no more trail damage than regular bikes or hikers. Yet bans persist, shutting out people who rely on them for mobility or longer adventures. It can feel like we're saying some ways of loving nature aren't welcome. Restricting horseback riders cuts off a historic bond with the land. And limiting cyclists keeps folks from the thrill of rolling through the wild. Every closure ripples. Fewer advocates for our lands, less trail maintenance, and a fractured community. Sometimes the real roadblock is the government. Land managers slap on restrictions claiming environmental protection, but those rules often fall flat when you consider the bigger threats like sprawling overdevelopment or excessive protectionism that locks up land for no one to use. When regulations seem more about control than care, it's time to ask or even demand that the government step aside and let us enjoy our public lands responsibly. Bureaucracy shouldn't gatekeep our shared heritage. The excuses for closures can be flimsy. While we're caught up debating horses and e-bikes and hikers, the real issues like overdevelopment or overly restrictive policies slip by. Instead of pitting users against each other, let's unite to tackle those challenges and keep our lands open for all. I've seen it work. Places like Moab and Durango provide multi-use trails that can thrive with respect. Hikers yielding to horses, cyclists slowing for walkers, e-bikers keeping safe speeds. Education and clear guidelines beat the bans every time. Let's keep public lands open for everyone. Sometimes that means telling the government to get out of the way so we can all enjoy these spaces as they're meant to be. When we welcome every hiker, rider, and explorer, we build a stronger, happier community ready to protect our incredible public lands. Open the trails, share the joy, and make sure everyone can experience the wonder. Accessible trails benefits us all.
Hey folks, ready for a blast? Grab an e-bike with epic happy adventures. Cruise historic trails, check out old railroads, or soak in epic views, all in a few hours. Super easy for beginners with bikes and guides to keep it fun. Please call 719-427-7084 to book now. Epic happy adventures, history, views, and good vibes.
That's a wrap for this wild ride on Adventure Amps. From the Roadhouse Lodge to Moe's Barbecue, the Midland Tunnels, and my soapbox on public lands, we hope you're fired up to chase your next adventure. If you love this episode, smash that like button, hit your subscribe, and follow us on your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your audio fix. Keep the stoke alive, and we'll catch you on the next trail.